Hey, it's me, Puppet DM, and I'm here to tell you all about the sponsors we have here at the Wandering Society. We're sponsored here by Mage and Press, makers of a bunch of 5th edition supplements, like the Book of Kobolds or their series of new classes. And don't forget, Arcmada, the amazing sci-fi fantasy campaign setting for the world's greatest role-playing game. Be sure to check them out at store.mageandpress.com. Up next, we have Roll20. It's the platform we use here at the Wandering Society to play all of our games. It's easy to use, intuitive, and it now comes with dark mode. Be sure to check them out at roll20.net. We're also sponsored by Artelsorian Games. Artelsorian Games make great RPGs, and they've been doing so since the early 90s. Check their books. They've got Cyberpunk Red, which Simon tells me has been played here extensively, Castle Falkenstein, which also has been played here, and The Witcher, which has also been. Okay, we get it! Check them out at your FLGS or online at rtelsoriangames.com. Have you ever wanted to wake up and smell the coffee? Well, now you can with this next sponsor, Found Familiar. Get yourself some damn good coffee at foundfamiliar.com and use the code on the screen to get 15% off. What do you mean I can't drink coffee? What the fuck is felt? And we couldn't end this segment without talking about our good friends at Die Hard Dice. That's right. As a Dice affiliate, we are proud to partner with Die Hard Dice to bring you only the best in shiny click-clacks. Click-clacks? What is... Ow. You can check their ever-growing collection over at dieharddice.com and use the link below to get 15% off. You're putting this all on me? I better get a cut.
Home. At the year of our chronicle, 2014, Montreal is home to a little over 1.7 million souls. And also 30 kindred, because we all know that kindred don't have souls. If they don't have souls, what do they have? Do they have homes? There's a song by Burt Bacharach and Hal David, made famous by Dionne Warwick, called A House is Not a Home. Kindred don't really have houses, at least that isn't what they call them. If they're important enough, they will have a domain. Generally, they should all have a haven, but a haven is not a home. Arthur Porter. Home is where the heart is. Vampire hearts are dead, and don't beat unless forced to, using blood taken from the living and pushed through desiccated veins by sheer force of undead will. Arthur Porter's heart was once black from the accumulated evil deeds of an unlife in the Sabbat. But just as a kindred can force their heart to beat, Artie forced himself out of a heartless unlife, out of the Sabbat, and started down a road of redemption that brought him to Montreal. His house is a small mansion in Little Italy. It has 3 floors, including the basement, and 20 rooms. It has a full medical suite, a library that remains half unpacked, a game room, a large, mostly empty kitchen. Artie's mansion is the heart of the coteries domain. The heart of a dream Artie had to make Montreal a new home. However, while the mansion is lived in, it doesn't look like he's ever fully moved in or unpacked. Is this where his heart is? In the reverberantly empty rooms of a mansion in Little Italy? Is this place his home, or is it just a house? Florrie Winter. Home is where you hang your hat. Florrie, like all Clan Ravnos, is cursed to never remain in one place too long. If ever a raven, as Clan Ravnos are sometimes called, slumbers in the same place more than once in 7 nights, they will be burnt alive from the inside. Always on the move, they do not have the luxury of a settled house. But that doesn't mean Florrie doesn't move in luxury. She travels the world in a $1.7 million Faulkner Mobile Performance SRV, billed as a 40-foot masterpiece that's a 5-star hotel on wheels. It has all the material amenities you might want. The furniture is made from the highest quality leather and wood, gold-colored taps adorn the bathroom, the kitchen floor is tiled in stone. Perhaps most impressive is the garage built into the RV that holds her 1963 red Corvette ragtop convertible. And it is in this RV that she made her way to Montreal to take a contract. Though always meant to be temporary, she began to invest in the city and in some of the people in it. She learned that despite the lavish RV, or we all learned that despite the lavish RV, there are many things that matter more to Florrie than material wealth. Respect, recognition, reputation, her family, her word, and her honor. Will she find a home here too, or is this just a temporary place to hang her hat? And when the winds change, will she take her hat and fly from the city and its people? St. Clair Lucky Dixon. You can't go home again. Lucky grew up in a small, all-black town in Nova Scotia near Halifax called Africville. It was founded by 50 black people, those runaway slaves for whom this was the end of the Underground Railroad, with every building built by the hands of the residents. At its height, it had 400 people. But the neighboring city of Halifax would take its taxes, but not give it access to clean water, sewage services, garbage disposal, or electricity. Rather, Halifax used it as a site to dump garbage and waste. But this was still Lucky Dixon's home. Lucky Dixon was chosen by Hetty Broadley, a conductor on the Underground Railroad, to be given the gift of having an ancestral spirit permanently ride him in order to become the protector of Africa, an honor he willingly accepted. The community came together for a ceremony, and he was killed and reborn to serve and protect Africville forever. A former resident once said, quote, "You weren't isolated at any time living in Africville. You always felt at home. The doors were always open." End quote. In the late 60s, that home was razed by Halifax bulldozers as part of urban renewal. The residents of Africville were forced to scatter, as was their undead protector, Lucky. For the next 40 years, he walked North America searching for the one who embraced him for guidance, searching for the descendants of the people of Africville to protect, searching for a home. He thought he found that home in Montreal. But isolated from his community and its rituals, the warrior spirit inside him slowly took over, and Lucky transformed into something that could never go home again. In his last act of protection, he bid adieu to his grandniece and her son, the last of his blood relatives, to keep them safe. Another home he could never go back to. Sleeping in the trunk of his truck or in a flooded shipping container at the bottom of the St. Lawrence River, or now in a burned-out crypt dug into the ground, without a family or a coterie, he has decided that while he may not be able to go home again, he and the warrior ancestor spirit who rides him can make Montreal a home for those who will come after him.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back. This is episode 4 of season 6 of Montreal by Night. I am Simon at Wandering DM, and I will be your storyteller for tonight. I use he/him pronouns. And I have with me 3 incredible players. And this is the exact moment when my cats decided to start fighting.
Oh.
Please, players, if you want to introduce yourselves, I am just going to go stop this little combat for a second. I'll be right back.
It is not Mortal Kombat. Hey everybody, Pope here. It is great to be back with Montreal by Night crew playing Arthur Porter. Both of us use he/him pronouns. Want to talk about home. Want to talk about what's important, legacies, things like that. But that's not what is waiting us this evening. Instead, we have panicked phone calls, forced retirements, and exploration ahead of ourselves. So we'll see who gets to figure out if they can go home or not.
Thank you.
And I am hi everybody, I'm your friendly neighborhood Prax. Prax with us before. You see me around here on Twitch. I get to play the wonderful Florica Winters. Both of us use she, her pronouns, and I would like a small clarification. The RV does not have gold-plated taps. It didn't match the interiors, and so she got the silver ones. That's all. But yeah, it'll be really interesting. As you can tell by the background, somebody is not in Montreal. So we'll see what happens.
Somebody also has M&Ms. What kind of M&Ms are those, and can I have some?
I mean, I will happily give you some, Trooper, but they're the Easter pastel
Are those
ones.
with chocolate on the inside?
Yes,
or-
they're plain. Why would you get
I don't
anything but
know.
regular M&Ms?
Sometimes you want
almond
some
M&Ms.
crunch.
Are nice.
No.
I'm Trooper SJP. I apparently am a blasphemer for enjoying an almond M&M. I will have to deal with that. I think that weight on my soul, knowing that somehow. I don't know how. I am playing Lucky Dixon, just going by Dixon. He doesn't feel so lucky. Punk, and your friendly, not actually so friendly, lack of a neighborhood brouhaha, but not really a brouhaha at all. And just hanging out. Last time, woke up a vampire from torpor, from being staked. Just see what's up, how life's going, and I feel like there won't be really panic calls. I'm just kind of hanging out, some chill stuff. Maybe like I don't know, like marshmallows in an evil crypt. That could be fun. Chatting, graham crackers, that kind of stuff. I think it'd be great. I think it'll be just lovely. That's it. That's me.
Yeah. Feel like my chair's lower or something. That might be better. So we are on December 23rd. We'll pick back up in Paris, where we're technically the wee hours of December 24th. Something like that. My
No,
brain
it's
refuses to observe.
it's a
time
7-hour time. It's a 7-hour time difference. So I'm just in the early. If they're at the night of the 23rd, I'm earlier than they are.
Yeah,
so
you are.
My
Yep.
night of the 23rd is their afternoon, or their daytime of the 23rd.
Yeah, except you left the 23rd at night.
Oh, and
Montreal.
then came. Okay, so now it's the 24th.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's the 24th when she pushes open the doors and finds a bunch of
Exactly.
mess. Oh,
It's Christmas Eve when you find the decorations. To recap real quick, Lori made her way to Paris in search of answers, and what you discovered pushing open the doors of the Elysium, the gardens, Francois Villon's gardens, what you saw was nothing less than the scene out of a very gory nightmare. You have splattered on the walls writings in blood. Lee, Paris has fallen. There are splatters of gore, probably from the youngest vampires, or perhaps kind servants that are just decomposing right there and then. The smell is awful. Blood still leaks, seeps through the walls. It looks fairly recent. Fucking would have had to happen earlier tonight. Now, the way the gardens are made is they are these links. Let's say imagine a large octagon with each corner of it being a circular room connected by short hallways, and they all reach into a central chamber, the largest of them all. This is the one whose door you just pushed through, and so in back of you there would be the corridor that then splits to left and right. Same thing across, same thing on each side. You can hear sounds, the rustling of fabric, the soft, careful footsteps of, well, definitely not someone stomping about, probably not whatever made this, unless they were very, very subtle. It's barely audible. There's no whisper, there's no sound of breathing.
cool.
From time to time you hear the little fan of like the air purifiers just go off, probably to make sure that the place doesn't smell too bad normally.
So 3 questions.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1, sense beast, is that going off?
You do not feel anyone that wishes to hurt you. However, you do feel beast somewhere in here.
Beast, but not human, right? Or kind.
Beast, but not kind. Your sense beast goes all the way up to, like, it's basically...
mortals, vampires, and other supernaturals.
Okay, immediate vicinity. Yeah, I would say you feel ghoul in the immediate vicinity.
Cool. That's one thing. That's good to know. How are the lights? On, off?
Well, the chandelier above you is still on. It's swinging faintly. 2 of the light bulbs on it have gone out. but it doesn't appear to have been damaged. Like nothing shot at it or was thrown at it, or it's just a massive electric chandelier in the middle of the main room. There are like these little they're not night table, but they're like small table, not coffee table, but sort of next to benches or lounge, chaise lounge against like put against the walls, and some of them have these like nice little porcelain lamps, like covered lamps. Words.
Just a lamp?
Jesus. Yeah.
Just a table lamp?
Yeah, a table lamp. Many of which have been broken. There's one that stands just intact off there. The chaise lounge, by the way, are soaked in blood and gore. If they weren't red before, now they're this sort of reddish tint of brown. And now that you look around, you would notice also there are little marks of like soot maybe against the walls. Everything's made out of white marble for the most part in the Elysium. Some places seem to probably have been hit by some form of flame, or had a flame held up to it. Like if it, there's no sconce underneath it, so it's not like a torch or a candle that used to be there or anything, but it bears that same sort of like almost like conical in shape or oval in shape of what you would have like the soot against the wall where something is used to burn.
Couple other basic questions. Number one, do I see any remains that look like tactical gear?
No.
Cool.
There's none of that.
You know, this could be Vion having a really bad day and just wiping out everybody in his court, but that doesn't seem likely. Mostly because he's that big of a pretentious asshole. He wants to make a statement about things and would want everyone in the world to know that he's about to wipe out his entire court. And, you know, it's not like Mithras, who's just like, fuck all of you, I'm a better strategist and I will arrange for you all to die very quickly in my favor. But this is, Vion is into, well, he's a Toreador. So if he wants to make a
manners.
No, he wants everybody to know what he's doing and make it a big production.
But now
again,
that you're looking
presentation.
for,
Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
Now that you're looking specifically for like equipment, you notice too that there are no, let's say pure kind dead here. The ones that you see dead are extremely old.
Sorry, Simon, there's a little bit of backfeed in your mic and I couldn't quite hear that end.
Oh, give me just a second.
Yeah. She's not walking further in yet. 'Cause she's not stupid. Also, taking the phone out, taking a big panning shot on video. Be like, not me, but I need to make sure that this is a thing.
Okay, that should be better.
Yes, thank you so much. Sorry.
What was I?
No
yes,
dead
bodies
pure
older.
kind.
Yeah, the bodies that you do see are old human, and I mean like elderly people. Older vampires would have had time catch up to them and just
Ash.
Turn to ash if they're old enough for that, or just decompose very quickly. You've got enough knowledge of the occult to know that when a ghoul is stopped, when a ghoul stops feeding on vampire blood, or should the ghoul be killed, time catches up to them as well. Most of the humans you see here are maybe in their late 70s, sometimes 80s. But they look like they died recently. The body is not in such a state of decomposition that they're unrecognizable.
So she's got the phone out, she's doing the pan. Is there any of the kind here that are, as you said, some of them are recognizable? Because 70, 80-year-old, if you're showing up to Les Jardins, you were of a certain class. Is there anybody really noticeable who's going to be really noticeably not where they're supposed to be tomorrow? Like, if we got a dead Saudi prince on the floor, because
No. The people that you see here, for the most part, they're all dressed, barring slight variations in their outfit. They look like major domos.
Oh, individuals who are at the
like
possibly
butlers
servers.
And like attendants to whoever. Probably, maybe, who knows, maybe they were the people in charge of like cleaning the Elysium out and just managing the day-to-day affairs of it. But
yes, and the sounds of movement that she can hear are coming from where?
Across the room from you, there's an exit that crosses into a T. You could feel the ghoul to your right, but the sound to your left.
She's going to take a euro coin from her purse and throw it to her left loudly. Still hasn't crossed the threshold yet. She's just going to throw it as far as she can against the wall so it makes a sound. And she wants to listen to see what the ghoul does, or what the sound does.
You hear the ding, 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 that echoes through the gardens. And a French voice coming from the right, shouting, Maurice, mais qu'est-ce que tu fous? Asking the person, what the fuck are you doing? In this case, the person called Maurice.
Sorry, it has to be done. She's going to take another coin and throw it again to the left, just slightly off from where the last one was, right? Like, if the last trajectory was to the 9 o'clock almost, she's going to go towards the 11. So just as if a little bit of movement.
You throw the other one, ding, 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 ding. And you hear the voice from the right. Not the same one from earlier, but a voice from the right. Just go, where? And slowly someone pokes their head out of the corridor to look.
She's gonna have leaned back just outside the door. So letting the door, because it's a double door, and she's letting, right? Did we establish that? And she's letting one stay closed, so she's only opened the one. And she's gonna lean back into the shadow. And loudly and in French, in a very male-sounding voice, she's going to say, "Did I not instruct to leave box 5 empty?"
Boss, is there someone? And you hear a commotion. That rustling of fabric. There's just several thuds. And a group rapidly makes their way into, not directly into the room, but they're still like in the hallway across from that other face that just poked in. Face of a guy who's, from where you are with what little light there is, a dark-skinned man, maybe in his 20s, looks rather young, and he is wearing, let's call it a cat burglar suit, like a
Okay.
black top.
As one professional to another, is he dressed for professional work, or is he looking like somebody off the street thinks a cat burglar should be dressed?
It's more like he's dressed like what would an urban explorer might want to be dressed as, but an urban explorer who knows where they're going.
Okay.
It's not a bodysuit. You can see it, like, it's not like pressed against his body and all that. It's not just a loose shirt, but it's a rather, I'm not going to say it's a turtleneck sweater, but it's almost in a way. And you can see he has like part of a harness on like one of the shoulders that pokes out. The one who, no, go ahead.
No, you first.
Okay, I was gonna say the one who does show up from the other side, who crosses the threshold. I mean, he's more or less staying underneath it, but you can make out like 3/4 of his body. Is an olive skin man, a bit, I'd say, of average height, average build. Very, very short hair. He's got like a chin beard, or at least what you can see from where you are, but he's wearing clothes that are not of this century. It's like this loose, light brown shirt under what appears to be a brigandine almost, though the brigandine is squint a bit, looks like a modern recreation of one, like not an imitation, but like someone who took modern, like a leather,
someone who's using
jacket
modern
and
materials, but
material to make something that is similar to, so like not a LARP reenactor in any way. And he doesn't seem to be afraid. Doesn't hide or anything. It just goes, Maurice.
So
go back to where you were.
Because they've now moved closer, does the sense beast register anything other than ghouls?
He's a vampire.
He's a vampire. Oh, that's interesting.
And there are other kindred with him that you can't see, but you can feel more than one beast following him. And so he turns into the main room and walks a few steps in. And he speaks, I will translate, he speaks French the whole time.
He speaks Latin or French?
No, French. He doesn't speak Occitan. He wouldn't. Would he know it? Probably not, actually.
It's an important question.
There's no one in their right mind who would come here tonight. I suggest you make yourself known, friend.
And she's going to just smirk and shove the door open like she's making an entrance. It's like, I have been accused of many things, but in my right mind, So, it looks like Paris has met a similar problem as Montreal.
He pauses, and that would be the ideal time to let you know that you can find him under Anarchs on the Legend Keeper.
Yeah, by the way, is this the person that she's been to Paris before? Is this somebody of enough status that she would be aware of them, even if she doesn't?
Unless you've hung out with the like pariahs of Paris, probably
I
not.
am a Ravnos.
Yes, but you're a Ravnos who made it very clear that you gravitated closer to like the haute society than.
This is true. I made sure not to piss off the high society so I could come back to Paris.
Yeah, whereas him and his ragtag group look like they're out of what we call the cities, basically the sort of ghetto-ish suburbs. And I never said you were not in. Well, you know what? Forget it. You're not from the clan of the Rose, I take it.
No. Those pretenders are horrible. I was coming to make my introductions because it was important, but since you are here, and I am here, and you're not, well...
You don't have to introduce yourself to anyone. I mean, aside from being polite, there are no more... Let me rephrase that. The rule of law no longer applies to Paris. And he says that with kind of a smirk. And as the rest of the little crowd that follows him basically walks up from behind him, they look more scared than cocky. Among them is an older woman, like grandma looking, with she even has like the scarf around her head and clothes that look like she's worn the same thing for her whole on life and has just patched it up.
Yeah,
it's a veritable ship of Theseus on there, but it at one point in time might have been a maid outfit. And then next to him is a gangly Nosferatu dressed in basically gang colors in a way. If that Nosferatu was also colorblind. He's got the dress, like he's got the large oversized t-shirt, the low pants hanging low with, you know, a bandana around one of his arms. He's got several tattoos that his face is so pale that most of the tats can't really differentiate between them and like the veins, the sort of dark blue veins that you can see crisscrossing any part of him that isn't covered by material. And in back of those three, you see a few more people going back and forth between the rooms, and then you hear the rustling of the clothes, and whatever's happening in the back is like they've picked their activity back up, leaving just the three kindred in front of you. You do not feel any other beasts save for these three. Can you roll resolve and animalism?
For the sense beast one.
Yes.
Yes.
Oof. That'll be a difficulty 5. I'm rolling like for every one of them. It's not a single roll. That's why I'm not counting the 10s as
Okay,
as
well,
anything special.
that's entirely fair. I mean, she's not. It's not going to happen, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, there's only 2 successes. She wasn't. She wasn't going to stretch that one.
Okay. You don't want to reroll with will or anything. There would be
I would only
only
get to
one
reroll
die
one.
to reroll. Yeah.
Either
Yeah.
way, it wouldn't work. It's fine.
You don't feel any hostility coming from them. But you don't feel any sympathy either.
Yeah.
The leader will introduce himself as Jean-Baptiste de Montrond.
Good evening, Slowly Winters.
Winters.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a name I've seen before on the books here.
I have been in and out. It's kind of a trademark. Family curse, you understand.
The older woman just pipes up and goes, "Well, then I would suggest you leave, young lady."
I'm probably older than you by about 15 decades, so shut up. Also, hello, nice to meet you. You are...
And it's still Jean-Baptiste who basically speaks for the rest of the group. Presents her as being Lafayette. For all of you at home, it's like the person Lafayette, but it's in 2 words.
Yep.
Not in Legend Keeper.
It's okay.
Lafayette is a little on edge tonight. And the other one's Bosco. And Bosco just burps at that mention. It's strange because his entire... Well, it's strange.
I mean,
his
it
entire
kind of
throat vibrates. You can see the skin of the Nosferatu, just like the sound wave going through it.
Why? There's also a moment in her mind. She doesn't say this out loud, but there's a moment in her mind of going, what is wrong with him that he needs to burp? Because burp means that your stomach acids are producing excessive gases and causing indigestion. That shouldn't be happening if you're dead.
A lot of things shouldn't happen when you're dead.
This is fair. But she just has this moment of like, whatever, not my problem.
We are what is left of Paris.
3 very simple questions and let you get on your way.
He's just not as cocky saying that. Yes.
Inquisition or Vion himself? When
you say the name, Lafayette falls to her side and just keeps babbling the name. The name. She said the name. She said the name. She said the name. She said the name. He's like, oh, great. You've got her going for a few hours.
I mean, if you'd really want, I can kind of snap her out of it, but I don't know if you want me to.
Don't. Bosco, take care of him. Her. Bad. And the Nosferatu will basically just pick her up like she was nothing. Carry her to one of the chaise longue. And just plop her down as gently as he can. When he does so, you see the blood just pouring out of the cushions. Just from what little... So she's a frail old lady, like frail old grandma. She's probably 90 pounds. But even then, that's enough to...
That's a lot of blood.
Yeah, it's like melted cheese pouring out of like... yeah. Jean-Baptiste will just shake his head. We'll talk about her later. Walk with me.
All right.
And he'll bring you basically the opposite side, like through the corridors, but really to one of the 8 rooms that are as far away as possible from her. You cross 3 of his ghouls. He won't even introduce them. He'll just say they're with me. And they are basically looting anything that isn't nailed down.
Yeah.
He says, not the Second Inquisition.
Well, that's good. That's Montreal's current problem.
Oh.
And apparently London's.
I think Paris had a problem that was way worse. Because the
Oh.
Inquisition we can kill.
Was this perhaps a problem of a, shall we say, dragon?
I don't think so. This was done by the one who called himself our protector.
Fuck.
Okay, before I go anywhere else, Rory Winters, guest, what brought you to Paris?
A dragon is riding the son of Villon. An old, bitchy, destructive, wanting to cause the end of the world dragon is riding a child sent with Villon's stamp to be the new Paris of Montreal. To be the new Prince of Montreal, sorry.
He just goes, Martin Hilkers.
Asshole!
Little upstart.
I
Yes,
am
we know him.
I am quite enjoying how much I'm annoying him with just income taxes.
Fucking with power is always a good thing. But
I
I'm
enjoy it.
afraid fucking with your days, nights of fucking with power might come to an end just like ours did.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of time.
How long ago?
3 weeks.
Has he been here?
3 weeks ago. The city has been eerily quiet. I don't know what kind of massacre took place here, and he wipes his fingers on the wall, and like the blood is still sticky.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this isn't just a massacre and might be, you know, an angry dragon getting involved in occult shit.
There was no dragon. That was all the prince.
Yeah, she likes to take over minds and possess people.
Well, if that's the case, then your city is in trouble because Villon boarded a ship 2 days ago.
Of
from
course
Montreal.
he's taking a boat.
The only reason we're here is because we know he left. Most of the anarchs are moving west. And well,
Don't go too
it's
far
only a
west.
question
She's
of
got
time. We're not fleeing France, but it's only a question of time before the camis from the other cities decide to take over Paris. Villon at least had the decency to keep many of us here because, well, you know, the good old days.
Let's be honest. Villon was only as much of a cami as he wanted to. He was his own king, and as
Yes,
long as he
and
stayed in Paris, nobody cared to fight him with it.
no, and for a while we were safe under him. He was tyrant. But he
In the
was
actual
our
Greek
tyrant.
but he was a tyrant under the Greek definition of the term, not a English definition.
I don't know. Did the Greeks eat their babies?
No, they threw them out. But remember that we're, and she's gonna stop and go, no, don't need to get into this. He left 2 nights ago
Yes, boarded a ship. Bosco
From
can
Calais
probably
or
tell you
from-
more about it. He's our eyes.
from Calais or from Nice.
That would be Calais. Port of Calais. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, no, he can't go south anyway.
I mean, he could. It would just be a really bad idea. Calais. 7 days. 8 if he doesn't hit anything in the North Atlantic.
Yeah, like to give you a
Mhm.
2014 approximation in game, he should arrive on December 28th.
A whole month? Yeah.
No,
I mean, he-
you're on December 23rd, 24th.
Oh, I
tonight.
thought you said January. I heard
No,
January
no.
28th.
No.
Yeah. 4
Yeah,
days.
so it's a week. It's basically a week in a straight
week.
line. He didn't board like
Oh,
a cargo ship.
but it's a week in December in the North Atlantic.
Yeah, if everything goes well, it's 7 days.
If not, he's fucked.
But yeah, Bosco can tell you more about that.
Did Hilkos have anybody with him when he left Paris?
Jean-Baptiste would whistle and Bosco would come through the shadows, kind of like his head pokes out of a corner, like a darkened corner, and just goes, "You called?"
You hanging out with a Sampa? I don't judge,
Like I
but
said, Vion was more open than the other camis.
I'm just
Bosco, tell the lady what you saw. And to paraphrase Bosco,
yes.
so Vion has a, let's call it, semi-secret ship. There are things that Vion is, publicly in control of, that we all know that, and there are a couple of things that are less known, and then there are a couple of things that are only known by the Nosferatu. And that was one of the many sort of secret, like, getaway vehicle that he might have. He boarded it, but before the ship left harbor, Bosco saw what he is fairly certain was a Banu Hakim assassin jump on board.
She's gonna pull out her phone, scroll rapidly through her text messages, see the one where it says, "I'm on the way," and just go, "How's the North Atlantic this time of year, darling?"
Can you text? There are no... Well, not immediately anyway.
Yeah, there's no answer immediately. And then she's gonna sigh, put the phone away. Oh, that's a positive and that's a negative. So a couple things for you to know. Number one, bunch of creepy shit is going on in Montreal. A lot of the supposedly undead Sabbat aren't really, a lot of supposedly very dead Sabbats are not dead. We are likely to have a small problem with a angry dragon doing a bunch of sacrificial shit to basically reverse Golconda. And she's had a while to establish herself as a trusted member of the prince's court.
I don't think Flory knows that. Do you?
Yeah, I have.
Because
yeah.
isn't the... Okay, sorry, I thought the call to Arthur was made after you had left.
No,
Thought so
she
too.
no, because that's how Arthur.
I was
Made-
upset when she came in and I referred to Betty.
And that's how Flory knows and called Mylin to close down the store.
Yes,
to close
have
down
everyone leave. Okay.
everyone else, because that's how she knows, right? Like that's
Good. No, it's just
And-
I wasn't quite like sure. I remembered like the events, but not the precise order.
Yeah.
So
she got in. And that's how she like called Casimir and said, "Don't come back. Take the van. Don't come back." And she called Casimir to let him know that Val is here and doing whatever Val is going to do. And Casimir has Charlotte, and she is also be like, "All right, so that's what's going to happen. Don't know what she's going to do, but she's got time and power. I would make sure that somebody's paying attention to the news radio, because Second Inquisition already hit Montreal once."
yes, well,
And she's
that's
going-
why we're taking what we can before either the Camis come from the south, or the Second Inquisition shows up like the rats that they are. So far, well, he looks to the ceiling. This entire place is so secret that by the time word comes out that there are no longer any kindred in Paris, there will be a new wave of kindred. The Second Inquisition, well, I don't give a crap who they murder after we're gone.
More along the lines of it will be, considering how public things have been recently, it might behoove you. And she kind of glances at what he's wearing and goes, "Pay a little attention, because they might be on the lookout wherever you go."
Good, yeah.
Also, and she kind of like is Bosco. It's like kind of turns to Bosco and just says, "The look works. Pay attention to the particular colors, because what you're wearing versus the bandana you're wearing, the Crips and the Bloods hate each other, and that would just get you shot or made for a cop."
He looks at like the yellow bandana around his forearm and goes, Crips and Bloods, I'm Team Instinct. And he retreats back into the shadows. And like Jean-Baptiste is just as confused. He's like, I have
Young
no
adult
idea.
literature, it's horrible. Oh no, don't let him get into that. At least romance novels, but not that. Dystopian YA literature? Give him Pokemon. Yeah, I know. That's what she's... Get him away from Pokemon. She's making a joke. Good
Actually,
world.
no, I might have been wrong because it hadn't come out by then.
Pokemon?
no.
No, it had. Oh, Pokemon
No,
Go?
I don't
Pokemon
know
Go
about-
specifically? I don't know.
No, it comes out 2 years after the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, my reference doesn't work. Oh, well.
It's fair. Yeah, I don't know, it's horrible for them.
Well, I'll let you go back to slaying your dragon.
Fuck that shit. I get people out. I don't fight damn dragons. Ravnos, not. And she goes, and she kind of like looks at him and goes, "I don't wear armor. You are, but I don't."
Then maybe you should make sure that you warn anyone that you care about. Because if what you say is right and there's a Samichi writing the prince. And if the prince can do all of this, Montreal has less than a week left.
And I thought being trapped in the underworld for a month was the worst thing that could happen to me this week. You don't know if the prince has suddenly gotten really into Lilith, have you?
No, it's the it's mostly hush hush, but if you noticed how most elders seem to just up and vanish. I mean, you're Ravno, so you probably... Yeah, normally they vanish without leaving a giant crater in the ground.
And most of them are going in the opposite direction.
Yes.
East, not west.
He went batshit insane. It started with the other roses. He just ate them one by one. And when that wasn't enough, he decided to start with everybody else, starting with the younger among us. We tried to get a lot of the younger kindred out of here, but we didn't get to all the lakes in time. There's this kid he got. I think it was the first one a while back. Aziz was his name. And then it just didn't stop. In fact, this, and he points to the rest of the massacre rounds, was supposed to be some sort of start of a revolution.
Which one? Paris has had so many.
Oh, just, just beheading a new generation of monarchs. No matter how old they were, none of them could stand a chance.
GM.
Hmm?
So this sounds kind of like a thing for Ravnos.
What do you mean kind of thing?
Or
like the Week of
experiencing
Nightmares.
PTSD.
Yes.
Yes.
like the Week of Nightmares. Because the Week of Nightmares had a thing that happened like this. Ravnos woke up and ate everybody.
Yep. Well, no, Ravnos woke up, went on a rampage and was stopped. And then was nuked out of existence. And it's Ravnos dying that...
It's Ravnos dying that causes the rest of us to die because we all get burned up from the sun.
He went on like a 1 week bender.
He went on a 1 week bender, but a lot of the people that he ended up eating during the Week of Nightmares were Ravnos, and the people that survived, the Ravnos that survived, were those who were embedded with Romani tribes and weren't actually...
No, he ate anything and everything.
True.
When he woke up, he just...
Ate.
Yeah,
so she's gonna look at Jean-Baptiste and go, you haven't heard of any mysterious other Methuselahs rising? Because that sounded like an antediluvian waking up.
I mean, I personally know about a lot of rumors, but they're all surrounding, what is it, Iraq? Iran,
yeah, Iraq. There's a lot of that going on.
He's not... Well...
Yeah, he's not going that way.
He's not from there. Yeah. And he's certainly not going there. Unless he's making a pit stop across the ocean for some reason.
Which would be really awkward because that's not the direction he's going in. But I remember when Ravnos woke. And what you're describing is what happened when Ravnos woke.
Yeah. don't want to witness any of this. Which is why I'm probably never going to Montreal.
I firmly don't recommend it. I don't kind of want to go back. Shit. Fuck. I have one last question for you, and then I will get out of your hair. If somebody takes like a nuclear warhead to this Toreador to Vion, it's not going to, ignite you, right?
I'm not part of the Roses, otherwise I wouldn't be here anymore.
Just making... I make no assumptions about whether or not Vion is actually a rose or not.
No, the Roses were killed first.
Mm-hmm. If Toreador woke up and is riding Vion, that's... I don't know what's worse, a dragon or an antediluvian. Why am I responsible for this shit? And I was just supposed to come to Paris to go shopping.
Oh, well, I mean... everything's free.
I'll come steal things from the Louvre later. Have fun, enjoy yourselves. And she'll pull a card out of her purse. And it's just a simple white business card with a contact email. Just a very simple contact email and a phone number. If you need a ride anywhere, my family can get you places. Even if you need to go south to go east.
No, we're good. Thank you. But we've got others who depend on us.
This wouldn't be the first time I've had to move a bunch of people out of a city. Also, it wouldn't be the first time I had to move a bunch of people out of Paris either.
And you should have been here 3 weeks ago.
Oh. Well, I was stuck in the underworld. Good luck.
There's one of the ghouls that walks up like, a fair distance behind, just goes, sir, daylight. He's like, I know. Do you have a place to stay?
Of
Just believe
course.
me, you don't want to fall asleep here. It's a cursed place.
No, I don't sleep here. I have a hotel, don't worry. Well, technically it's an apartment. Airbnb. Great. I firmly recommend them. No questions asked. In, out, done. You don't have to worry about anything. Oh, God, I hate all of this shit. Good luck. And she kind of like reaches a hand out to like shake his hand.
He's gonna shake it.
Okay. And then she'll go, get you around. Don't get dead.
Same.
And as she's walking out the door, she goes, I want you to know I totally was going to take that chandelier down, but I didn't. And she's going to, as she's walking out the door, call or basically pull up her family phone and go into like the family group chat, not just the local one, but the actual family group chat, and be like, Paris is 1939 level of nope, with a side of 1780 nope. 1790, excuse me, not 80.
And they will get that in a few hours.
Yeah, that's basically her massive group chat for every Ravnos she knows that sends out, and then she's gonna
Oh, I
go
thought you meant the
to
family as in the coterie in Montreal.
no
You
no
know, the
the
family, it
code.
depends on where they are.
Yeah,
So,
depending on where they are, they'll get it whenever they get it. But that's a level of like, and then she's just going to send that same chat to the coterie, Casimir, and anyone else she knows when she walks into the Airbnb, and she will full on barricade the doors and hide in the bathtub for the day. And she left a note with a personal shopper that this is her shopping list. Have at because she's still getting her shopping list and just sighs. It's like, I'm going to have to burn those shoes. Damn it. It's like the last thing she thinks
yeah,
before she
that's.
crashes.
Sun rises on Europe. Eventually, the sun sets, but we'll move to the New World. We'll start with Dixon. I want to keep torturing Pope for a moment.
Nice. Nice.
So, Dixon, the last sequence that we saw was you pulling a stake out of a salubri woman.
I have the full house of bodies in my home right now, all set up in creches, because obviously you have to put all of your bodies. You don't want to leave your bodies lying around. That would be rude.
That would be rude.
Yeah, it's messy. But I pulled a stake out of a salubri, and I had a mortal there who helped me move a trunk into a crypt underground, like a hole in the ground. That's what Dominate will do for you. And I recall our salubri went and had a little bit of a snack.
Yep. And so we pick back up as Jessie wipes blood off her lips and looks at the room around for a while, just taking in the destruction. You can see her third eye often looks in a different direction than the other two, until it blinks, shuts, and it becomes all but invisible on her forehead. How long was I out?
I don't know. Depends on when you went in. My name is Dixon. It's 2014, almost 2015.
It's been, what, 2 years? This place looks like it went through hell and back.
Oh, that was my fault. I tripped a trap that I didn't realize was there.
Not so lucky then.
You know me.
Okay, I wasn't sure if there had been more people called Dixon who... Yeah. You're Hetty's child. You're the child she left in Halifax.
Well, Africville, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's not the same. So I found you. I pulled out the stake. You were in a crypt, Temple of Whispers, I think, or the Chapel of Whispers, the Church of Whispers, or the something
Temple
like
of
that.
Eternal Whispers.
Okay. Anyway, things are bad, so I thought that you might be able to help.
Where's Hetty?
She's over there, and he points to bottom there. She's the ancestor spirit that was housed within her took over, so she I needed to stake her. Unfortunately, I was looking for her all this time. I finally found her, but it was a bit too late. I also have Shepherd, I think her name was, maybe. The Phoenix, I guess, would be the way to put it. I have Hetty's other child and somebody I don't know who that is actually, but just found them. I don't know how much you know about what happened. The Second Inquisition came and just killed everybody that night 2 years ago.
She, by the way, has not stopped staring at Hetty's white form.
My understanding is there was some sort of big ceremony supposed to take place some night 2 years ago, and I think you and Hetty and you did some sort of sabotage, maybe. I don't know 100%, but somebody ratted out everything, and the Second Inquisition came. Second Inquisition, they blew up everything, destroyed everything, killed everybody, and then Montreal was empty of kindred for a while. Then people came back. I was one of them, and we just made a home, sort of a tried. Now the Camarillas sort of come in and they're throwing things around a boat, but there's also a Zemish, old, like powerful.
She
Zemish who's
at that point she takes a few like wavering steps towards Hetty and just falls on her knees and wails. The rest of what you said after powerful or old, like it's buried under just her screaming, "No!" And she slams the ground. She's like, "Oh, no, no." When she turns back to you, her third eye is open again. It's all red and leaking like a thin line of blood at the bottom.
Was hoping you could help me save her.
Where's her things? Where's her things? And she gets up and begins to frantically look through all the alcoves.
He points because he had unpacked all the stuff he'd saved. He, put them where they would go, probably in the ruins of that desk. There, I saved everything I could. Well, I brought everything I could with me.
She jumps on the pile that you've pointed and begins to look through things. Okay, was there anything but this here? Was there the notes, also have to look up my notes.
These were all the things that were there. I have a couple other things that were not here that were mine, and he goes to another corner of the place, and where he's retrieved the last of his worldly goods from the from the bus terminal, and like he's got his hockey stick, an old hockey uniform, his Sunday best, and just like very little. He has very few worldly goods left, and his like carpentry box. And he pulls out the diary. He goes, "This was I got this back in Africville. This was also hers. I don't know if this would help." And he hands it over to her. I want to find a way to save her. If possible. I'm not an expert in these sorts of things, but I can help if I can.
Wait. Things, and she starts like piling some of the books in like one pile, others in another. There's a piece of paper that she finds that she just crumples, puts it in her back pocket, keeps looking through things.
Oh.
Things are missing. Okay, you, child.
Yeah. Yes.
Who died?
What do you mean?
Who? I think you said things earlier. The Night of Ashes.
Right.
I take it that was Mass, right? The Dark Mass.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay.
Sure. Okay. Yes.
Okay, so you call it the Night of Ashes. Then people die. Who died?
Everybody.
Everybody. Who are
Well,
they? And she points to the whites.
Well, as far as I know, the Second Inquisition came in and killed most everybody. Everybody who was there at the Temple of Whispers, they all died. Only a couple of people I know made it out. Who made it out? Caleb, also known as the Whale, Valois, Yuma, Melvin, Antonio, but he's not alive anymore. There are a couple of people who weren't there at the time, who are still alive, but most people didn't make it out, as far as I know.
If I say Sedelia.
I don't know who that is.
Brother Mark.
Don't know.
Stephanie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
she made it out, but she was in some sort of I don't know if she was in some sort of other world or something. Those are details I'm not really quite certain about.
Pause for a second. Jim needs to know. Dixon, were you the one who brought Steph? Do you have burnt
Stephanie
woman?
was the one who brought us out of the.
No, that's Charlotte.
Oh, that's Charlotte. Sorry.
Stephanie is the flame retardant, Samish.
Oh yeah, he pointed to her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Shepherd, right?
No, Shepherd. That's her, the Salubri. The woman that's all burnt up. She's there, next to the white. So she turns and goes. Oh,
he called her the Phoenix.
Oh, that's okay. That's who you. Yeah. Okay. Later, she says, pointing at her body. So many things. I need to make this. She points again at you. Tell me, what did Hattie ever told you about something called Bardo?
Oh, I don't think she did, right? But I have read her book.
You have read her book, but she never told you anything about it.
Yeah. Nothing? Don't know what that is?
I need something else. 2 seconds.
I just it occurred to me that she wrote me a letter and I hadn't read it yet. Oh, it's been so busy.
Can
all
you
this.
roll straight resolve composure?
Sure. Uh-huh. Any bonuses
Um.
or negatives?
Well, you had found Hetty's stuff, so one die with a 1 die bonus. So I was busy trying to find the difficulty here.
Failure. It's a bestial failure.
Bestial failure.
Well, it depends. It could be. So 1 success.
Hmm.
I do not know if that's a bestial failure or not.
Unless you want to spend will to reroll it.
What is my difficulty?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, didn't get it. It's here. It would be difficulty 4.
Okay. Let's see.
I will say on this specific check.
So that's 3 out of 4. I have 1 die left that I can re-roll.
If you want, I was gonna say before you reroll again, just in case, on this specific check, you can also mark a, I believe it is a aggravated willpower damage in succeed. So you rerolled before I had time to because I needed to reopen the PDF. So if you want, instead of, you know, superficial damage to reroll, if you want to burn it, you can.
Sure.
I'm just.
We only have 3 sessions left. It's unlikely that I will meet any of my ambitions. So sure, I will take it. You know, what do you call it? Run out like it's a stolen car. I will spend it.
Just a second.
Well, Simon's gone. Y'all, everybody. It's no good.
Okay.
I think it'll be
so, for some context,
No, I'm here. No context, no nothing.
Never mind.
Okay, did you burn anything?
Yeah. I mean,
okay, you burnt it permanently.
Yeah. Is it permanent burn forever, ever? Or is
No, it's aggravated. Sorry, it's a V20 would have been permanent willpower thing. So as she's asking you these things, you know, her eye is still sort of unfocused, and then it fixates on you. Just a sec.
It's just I'm just trying to save her. That's all. Well, it's actually save all of them. Although Stephanie, she seems to be fine. You would just have to pull out the stake. I suppose I should point out that I found you and Stephanie in the temple just recently, and it's been 2 years and some since the Night of Ashes, so I think somebody must have put you both there after the Night of Ashes.
No, they put me there the night of.
That couldn't. I don't think so. Because that everything was blown up by the Second Inquisition, and found you there. So I don't know, but Stephanie was sort of crucified and hung up, and I can't imagine the Second Inquisition would have left that by.
No. I was part of the thing. Hetty was supposed to smuggle me out. She said she'd smuggle me out. I remember the mass was going to happen. We swore and all that, and then I went into torpor.
Oh, well, I don't know. I found Hetty here in this place, in the Cauldron of Blood. And Stephanie was crucified inside the temple as well, I think done afterwards. And you were in the temple too, in one of the rooms, I guess. And there was a Charlotte who I think was in another dimension or something, and then I don't really know what that was about, but she came out. I don't know what that was about. I think she was somehow in the abyss or something for a long time. I don't know what that was all about, but yeah. Oh, Damien Black was also in the abyss. I think there were a bunch of people in the
Yeah,
abyss.
fuck him.
Really. Yeah, I don't like him either. So, not much. He apparently kind of ruined my life before I knew it. But I think he's actually dead now, for real. I think he also ruined my dad's life, but that's all for neither here
Your
nor
what?
there. My dad, father.
Mortal.
Boxer.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. No time to think of. Fine.
What can I do to help save her?
She looks at the white version of
There are two other whites there as well.
Hetty. Yeah, she doesn't recognize you.
I just got a group of whites hanging out. Three whites and two non-whites. That was my full house.
So you know nothing of. She would have, and she points to Hetty.
She wrote me a letter. I haven't read it yet, though.
She liked writing.
Yeah. There's a problem. There's an old Zemish who's here to do evil things. Some sort of reverse Golconda ritual, which is supposed to do some sort of something or other thing.
Asaku.
I guess.
Yeah, that. Like we did everything for.
But this, her name is Val. I'm pretty sure she's in the city already, and she arrived. I don't know how long she's been here, but I think she's supposed to go, and she's got bad plans. I'm gonna find her and kill her.
And again, like Jessie starts to. Not cry or anything, but she stares off.
That's the big crisis happening right now, at the moment.
We're working on something a lot bigger than whatever immediate crisis is there. We're saving our entire species. Who cares about one city?
Well, I mean, there's a bunch of whites who've been showing up since then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, none of us were there to keep them penned in, so yeah, they got out.
Were there whites penned in somewhere?
She begins to rummage through like the stuff that was written by Hetty and all that, all their research as she talks. A bit less she's a bit more inattentive to you. Like her
Okay.
focus is split.
What
She
do you want
goes,
to do with the kind? He's
What?
unconscious. The kind that he's unconscious.
yes, and if you wake Steph up, she's going to kill him.
Oh, okay. So is that a yes or no on waking Steph up?
Unless you have other means for her to feed, she's going to feed on the two of us. And Steph has a temper.
Oh. Okay. So
So go get someone.
right. Okay. Okay. All right. I will take this one with me.
What? Yes, yes.
Okay. Everything's. I've been working to sort of dig out the passageway. I'll be back. Just okay. One person, would that be enough?
Yeah, and if you can pump that person full of tranquilizers, that'd be even better.
Just tell them to follow me. Okay. I'll be back. Sort of, takes the human that he's got, that he's dominated, is now unconscious. We're gonna have to go and throw some alcohol on him, dump him in the park, and
As it so
dominate
happens,
somebody
the
else.
tunnel brings you straight into the park, so.
Yep, it does. I know. There's like a lake, and I'm gonna have to go and compel somebody else to follow me. I'm not feeling so great. Somebody will have to come and help me out. I will compel people.
By the way,
someone to
I forgot to
follow me.
mention, but Dixon and Artie, this is the start of a new night. No, this is the same night as before. Never mind, this is the same night as
yeah.
before. I'm back.
Yeah, I'm gonna compel someone, which is free, to follow me and take that person down.
Can you roll just a single d10?
Sure.
I need a success on it, but it's just a single die.
Mysterious. 1. No. I rolled a 2.
Okay. It's just the person that you find doesn't stink of alcohol or anything. They don't seem to be under any sort of influence. It's just a nighttime jogger out
Can I
in
find
the
a
cold.
drunkard?
It might take you longer, but can you make wits and streetwise?
Sure. Again, I have 0 streetwise because that was, it's a little bit sheltered. Messy crit.
Not only will you find a drunkard, what's your, let me just look at your sheet for a second. That's aggravated damage. Yeah, so because this is a messy crit, here's what's gonna happen. You will find 2 drunkards.
Mhm.
The first one of which you decided to feed on first. Because you're a little peckish. You're not too so hungry that it provokes like feeding frenzy,
Yeah, no.
but you will hurt that person.
Okay.
What is your clan's compulsion?
My kind of compulsion is about rebellion. Is that I will rebel authority.
Oh.
I take a stand against whoever or whomever I see as the status quo, and whether that's a leader, a viewpoint expressed by potential vessel, or just the task I was supposed to do at the moment. Until I've gone against my orders or expectations, perceived or real, I receive a 2 dice penalty to all rolls. And it ends once I've managed to either make someone change their minds by force if necessary, or done the opposite of what was expected of me. So
Okay,
I'm at a 2 dice penalty.
Yeah, no, but let's do this instead. You first of all, you will gain a stain.
Mm-hmm.
You'll grab one person, you'll feed from them, you will regain 1 point of hunger. It's just that you've left them in. You basically took one, drank without even realizing it, threw their body away. Through the use of, you know, your potence and everything. That person will die of their wound, basically. So that would be another stain for.
I could just kill them directly.
It's more of a, in this case, you're not out to. Because it's your beast doing it.
Yeah.
So let's go with. Oh God, give yourself 3 stains for this.
Okay. 3 total? Or
3
4?
total, yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And we'll leave it at that for now.
Mm-hmm.
You will bring back
The second
a second one who's in.
I mean, look, I already have a reputation as an infamous masquerade breacher, which is why vampires don't like me. So it's fine. You know, what's more? What's more?
Yeah. I mean, theoretically, this would be a masquerade breach, but I don't think in the immediate anyone is taking notes of masquerade.
Well. Also, I was on the wrong sheet. There we go. Sorry, I was on the wrong sheet. I'm where I need to be now.
You bring Jesse back.
Some dinner?
The person, yeah. He smells. Okay. Yeah. Wake her up if you want to. I've been gone for I've barely found anything. You said Hetty left you something?
Yeah. By the way, what's the resonance for that blood? Because I did have animal choleric. Now it's
the one you just fed from?
Yeah.
Yes. I know what kind of person they were, but I don't remember by heart. You are what you eat.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good. I'm in the right character sheet. I was in the wrong character sheet, everybody. But now I'm in the right character sheet.
He's phlegmatic.
Okay.
The one you fed from.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm gonna just read this letter before I pull the stake out, if that's all right.
Sure.
It's my
I'm not your
first time. Okay. He's gonna read the letter, and he's just like kind of leaving the elder. Like, he has a thing about respecting your elders. That's a part of his cultural training. So he kind of gives her space to do what she's doing, and will then. And we'll read the letter before he pulls out the stake on Steph.
All right, so we'll do the letter and then we'll go to break. So this is the letter that Hetty had left you.
In her haven.
In her haven. It reads the following. My dear child, if you read this note, it means you have found my sanctum here in Montreal. It also means that I am not in any capacity to explain myself to you. I am certain that you have 1,000 questions. I am sorry that I cannot answer them at this point. In the absolute worst case, should I have fallen from grace, capital G, and turned into those I set out to save, Please empty me of my blood, drink my soul. However, know, my child, that your blood is my blood, and my answers, should you wish to look for them, are in you. I will be with you always. Yeah, I'm gonna put it in the Zoom chat.
Thank you.
Boop. And on that,
He's reading it, and he just kind of like he's there like reading this letter with sort of like slightly trembling hands, while I imagine Jesse's going through books.
oh yeah, she's like flipping pages, from time to time looking over her shoulder at the group of whites. And we're gonna cut to Arthur when we come back from break. Stick around, everyone, grab yourself something to drink, and be right back. became more like 4. I don't know how to count, is what I meant. Hello, everyone. Arthur.
Mhm. There was a text message.
Mommy called.
Well, mom called, but that's not where we left off. Like
Nope.
but mom called. We had that conversation. Number of other people were met. There was conversing. There was some panicking. They were saying that affairs in order, and then where we left off with poor Artie was him finally taking a breather, and then the phone buzzes with a message from Valois saying that we needed to meet in Anarch territory, and I just sent the response of, "So you found out about mom," and that's where we left off.
Yep. I see it here. So, what does Arthur do?
WWAD.
This point, like, just to sort of like set the tone for everything from here on out, like, he's going to go to the meeting promptly, but not so promptly that he doesn't get a costume change in.
Okay.
Like, we're dressing well as like, I see. The dominoes are falling, and now all of you understand the trouble we're in. I'm going to at least die wearing some of my nicest. And yeah, and we're taking the green rolls out to the Anarch. I'm going to at least enjoy this evening as best as I can, because I'm still haven't decided, am I fleeing or am I staying? I don't know. It really depends on how the next, 24 goes. So, yeah, we'll drive on out, go say hi.
It has begun to snow a little.
Oh, lovely.
Not a flurry, a slurry, just a gentle snow. There's about like half an inch already on the ground, so you can see or some of the roads that you take going to the Olympic Stadium, you can see the tracks of like other cars that would have passed that way.
It's holiday time. It's lovely.
Yeah. You pass by an alley. Unbeknownst to you, there is a man there. Mortal who went clubbing to went drinking to celebrate his promotion as middle manager. He's now lying in a pool of his own blood and is going to die tonight. But
and will be replaced by another terrible middle manager. Okay.
By another parasite. Yep. You.
I feel like maybe I shouldn't even get stains for that. I'm just saying.
Well, that's why you get 3.
I'm just saying you get diet stains. Like, they're still there, but they don't have as much weight to them.
Listen, it's a stain because if you were like him, you would not get a stain. I'm sorry for any middle managers in the audience.
I'm not.
You park on the same street as the Olympic Park, or across, or a few blocks away, or how do you approach this, knowing that the Olympic Stadium stands in a sort of open area with a biodome on the one side and the insectarium, and then you have a movie theater not too far.
Park like right there. I'll do a nice gentle stroll. I will, but I'm already conspicuous, so it's not going to be too far parked away. It's going to be like across the street.
Valois lost you again. Don't know where you are, but I'm inside the Olympic Stadium.
Be there in 8. As I look for, the local guards / ruffians to like.
There's a couple of Yuma's people there. You would recognize, or would you recognize, a blue-haired, leather-clad?
Yes.
Yeah.
We've met.
Simone's there with like 2 other punks who are probably not kindred. They're talking, smoking, looking at you with mean eyes, but then the moment they recognize that you're not some sort of lost mortal who is definitely out of his element, he just nods. There's a single pair of footsteps aside from yours that lead into the Olympic Stadium in the snow. It's this narrow dress shoes, clearly not winter boots, clearly not made for this type of weather.
Yeah. But then again, he's not used to, fear. So I recognize the fear brain as things are starting to just go more unhinged. It's like a bit of his old self is coming to the fore as he just sort of like strolls in.
Tamara would drone fly above the Olympic Stadium. It's covered because this costs so much money to the city. Snow doesn't fall into it. Inside, you have the baseball field surrounded by all of the bleachers. Several levels of them. It's dimly lit. Your footsteps echo across the concrete structure as you make your way onto the baseball field. Balwa is waiting on top of the pitcher's mound. Camera would go through the ceiling and just hand down to the 2 of you as you approach. You both come into frame. He's holding a bunch of books under one arm and has a cane that he's using with his right hand to sort of hold himself kind of steady. Arthur, we have a problem.
Which one?
He throws the books at his feet. You recognize them. They're the ones you gave him. You did not bring me what I wanted. What I needed.
Well, I kind of got interrupted by a series of things that no one else seemed to be volunteering to go down with me to help with.
But you did bring the book, and he taps one with his cane. Opens it up with the cane again, just the cover. Someone tore pages out of this. I don't think it was whatever it was that attacked you in the temple, or even Mr. Johnson. What did you do with those pages? Where are they?
Those pages were put back in.
They're not.
Well,
and that's the book, by the way. The book he tapped is the book that, bled and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I took what pages I could find, put them back in. but I guess I didn't get everything.
Guess won't cut it. Artie, if you think your sire is a problem, this, he taps the book again, was the only way to stop a danger greater than her. I counted on you.
But you didn't care to inform me of all the details or give me, any sort of martial aid in traversing, all of the traps, the werewolf that apparently a bunch of people knew about but didn't, offer to inform me about, or, the guy wearing, coat of faces that you guys had months to deal with, or, he was wearing the face of one of the tower, and the myriad of Camarilla security got that one real quick.
Yeah, there have been flaws in the tower.
There have been flaws with this community.
Well, you see, the only person that seemed to be very eager to volunteer himself happens to share the blood with all of the swords dangling over our heads. Pardon me for being somewhat cautious and not explaining everything right away in case you were in cahoots with them.
Honestly,
or would you have liked us to blood bond together?
No.
So that I could trust you?
I don't like blood bonding. Again, I got plenty of that back with the Sabbat, but that was a communal thing. Ritual, as opposed to the book that so many of the camis like to beat each other over the head with. But the only reason I went down there has been taken away by the thing I warned you months ago about. And there has been no response to those archons going missing. So something's up with Paris, and I'm not plugged in to Paris. That's y'all's side of the pond. And I've been kept in the dark about an awful lot about this city because of, ooh, he's an outsider. Ooh, he's tied to the Sabbat, even though, I haven't gone around killing so many mortals. In fact, I find it kind of disgusting. I drink bad blood, for heaven's sakes.
It's not your humanity I'm questioning. Artie. Blood calls to blood. Your clan is the problem. How could I know that everything you did was out of sheer goodwill? I mean, an honest, forthcoming vampire? What are we, in some fairy tale? That doesn't exist. Less so
you
from
don't
those
know
that come
the
from
old clan at all. None of you do. Before the entire revolt, before the clan was even formed, back in the good bad old days, the dragons were powerful enough that we didn't need to lie. It was beneath us.
Well, apparently it's not beneath your sire.
Oh no, she's one of them newfangled ones.
So how would I have known that you were part of the old guard or the new guard? I kept tabs on the city, not on Miami.
it doesn't take a lot to find information about, this guy who has as much money, so governments keep tabs on me. If you guys were half as competent with, a computer, you probably would have found out a lot more. Anyway, what's this problem and how can we solve it? Aside from me trying to produce pages that may as well still be down the underworld for all I know.
There's another dragon under the island.
Oh, so the Coldonist that I made mention that may or may not be existing.
He definitely exists.
Okay.
And the only way to keep him chained, he taps the book again. Mysteriously disappear.
Why do we need to keep this one chained when we already have another one that's running around in a Betty suit?
You tell me, Artie, you were part of the Sabbat. Isn't Granddaddy's wrath not something you all used to fear? Because I might be part of the Ivory Tower, but I know damn well after the Week of Nightmares that these things are real. And these things will come for all of us.
Oh, you're talking about the cockroach. You're telling me
about some
the
things...
cockroach is underneath us, or something closer in generation to the cockroach.
Something that would probably treat your sire as nothing more than an appetizer between meals.
So, you're telling me that Montreal this entire time had a draconic antediluvian underneath it. What, did somebody drop the island on him?
Some, over the years, chucked it to a legend. Others just turned the name into something else. They said there was a demon in the mountain.
There is a demon in the mountain. But not here.
It's not a demon. It's one of us, or at least at some point in time was one of us. For all the... For everything that the Sabbat, specifically Strathcona Sabbath, had wrong, at least they kept it dormant. Every few centuries, a spell that keeps him slaked and in torpor fades. And it needs to be renewed.
Well,
there was an entire cabal of Tremere that were working specifically on that.
A permanent solution, or just the temporary re-upping your, yearly antediluvian insurance policy?
It's temporary until a permanent solution was found. Problem is how do you kill that which is everywhere and nowhere?
You can, but you're not going to be living there anymore.
That's the thing. We all love Montreal.
Yeah, but you're talking about a
to stay.
Bangladesh level problem.
Maybe, maybe not. We don't even know what shape it'll take.
Okay. I keep getting all of these maybes, these bits and pieces, these shadows thrown at me left and right by everybody on this goddamn island.
Do you want me to say that I have all the answers? I've been
No.
working my ass off for years trying to find scraps of answers.
Well, I gave you the best scrap I could get my hands on. If it's not good enough, I'm sorry, there are so many ticking clocks at this point. My house may as well be a, store for it. Between Val, this, like,
Okay. He takes like a few steps off the pitcher's mound. Kicks the books as he walks by. Let's just start over. You did your best. I did my best. None of our best is enough.
okay.
Now we have your family to deal with, and in some twisted kind of way, whatever demons under this island is also somewhere along the genealogical tree part of your family.
Well,
They need to be dealt with.
there are ways we can go about this. It depends upon expediency and a wish for limiting collateral damage. The slower methodology to provide solutions would be the spending some fast cash, robbing the right people, and getting myself a whole lot of blood bags, as I am pretty much drinking Capri Sun after Capri Sun, while you get in those books and figure out how we can manipulate the ties that bind, and trying to find out where upon this lineage the big bad underneath the mountain is, and seeing if we can't, just throw enough mysticism and blood at the problem. But that is sort of a pie in the sky sort of solution. You get me actual physical documentation about our cultunists is option 2. And I go have a heart-to-heart with Mom. Because if the guy under the mountain is as powerful as you say he is, Mom doesn't like playing second fiddle to anybody. So if he is a crimp in y'all's plans, he is crimp in her plans. And I might be able to, in some way, shape, form, hell, maybe get all of the anarchs to pray. I might be able to sway her towards, helping us with the antediluvian situation. Hell, who knows? She may already be aware of it and is going to try and use him to power the damn thing that she's trying to accomplish. I wouldn't put it past her. Ambition is just like her middle name. In which case, sorry, it's time to just everybody leave the goddamn island, because she's either going to pull it off or she isn't, and if she isn't, it's going to go horribly awry. And I'm not going to be able to stop her.
You hear Val's voice echo around the entire, ring the baseball field. It goes, "You know me so well, my child." Boss, the GM, the storyteller, now will ask for a wits and awareness roll. Difficulty.
It's awareness. I'm going to rouse the blood for this.
That's fine.
I'm hungry, but that's in keeping with the theme. So 3 successes.
As she speaks, you notice out of the corner of your eye Valois makes a sign with his fingers for you to step back.
Yeah.
He barely has time to do that.
I'll do as he instructs, because so far we've been buddy-buddy.
A bone spur strikes out of the ground like a spear, slicing Valois in half. From where you are, just a few steps away, his cane flies out in your direction, along with a heaping amount of blood. You wouldn't need a roll to catch the cane. It's clear that he knew where it would land. The spur is then followed and forms back into a completely blood-drenched Val, licking her finger as Valois' remains turn to ash. You have me all figured out, I guess.
No. Never do.
Oh, were you done with him?
He was kind of the only friend I made on this goddamn island.
Oh, no, that's so sad. Oh, well, maybe you should have done as he asked and, brought him the book.
I
I'm
brought
kidding,
him
it
what I
wouldn't have
could.
changed anything. So, how about you give Mommy a hug?
I don't really want to have something ripped off me tonight, so I'm just going to stay over here.
Did you know what he was talking about?
The Coldonist? Or the stopping you?
Don't be silly. The cold honest.
I had inklings. I didn't know necessarily about some legendary demon in the mountain. I just knew that there were enough of us on this island that somebody was downstairs, and that, yes, I have made some form of tentative contact with the entity.
Oh, that's... I'm actually surprised. I never thought you would.
With everybody 7 ways to Sunday not giving me any form of answers and me trying to actually figure out what the fuck was going on in this island, I went and performed one of the many old rituals between where the water meets the land, and I got a response.
Yeah, I know you did. I saw you, that was pretty good. You've certainly gotten better with time. She pauses for a moment. Like, she's hesitating between saying, like, you know, something, and there's an old quote. It's something you told Dixon back in season 1. If there is a pause in the conversation with an elder and they stop talking, run.
Yeah.
They have decided to eat you. Because you succeeded on your earlier check, I will give you this warning. There is a pause in our conversation. What do
Yeah.
you do?
No, that's enough to, you know, it's time to book it.
You turn around to run. I will ask you 2 checks. You can have, let's call this bonus Valwas Remains. You have 2 extra dice that you can either split on both, Jack, 1 for each, or put both together. One of them will be Resolve and Athletics, and the other one will be Composure and Awareness. They are both difficulty 4. You can do them in the order that you want, but you have to tell me, you know, if you use the bonuses on one.
I'm using the bonuses, both the full bonus on the Composure Awareness. The Resolve Athletics, I'll just use what I've got. Let's do Resolve Athletics first.
Mm-hmm.
Difficulty 4, you said?
Yes.
Well, there's 5 successes.
And your other check. I'll take both and then I'll go into the...
All right. And then next is Awareness plus Composure. That's 4 successes.
Oof. You turn around to book it. You notice high up in the bleachers, there are 2 figures sitting there looking. Ilkers and Mehmet. Both overlooking the scene. You also hear faint sound of a gun with a silencer. But to have it faint in such a place, it means that something fired from a certain distance. You do not feel pain. You book it out of the stadium, crossing the baseball field as the ground itself just keeps sprouting these bony fingers that keep trying to claw at you. Val behind you has both hands inside the ground and just laughing maniacally, saying, "I'm not gonna hurt you. Come back, I'm not gonna hurt you." You make your way out thanks to your massive resolve, fueling what dead muscles you have. Outside, you notice Simone is on the ground, not moving. The other 2 punks are lying in pools of blood. You hear barking and roaring coming from farther out towards where the biodome is. That's not where you parked your car. I want to know in this moment, Arthur, what do you do? Because we're going to start our next episode on that.
The thing I'm doing is I'm picking up Simone in one fell swoop, and I'm headed straight to my car.
Straight to the car. Let me note that down.
I don't know what that is. I don't have time. I may be able to save this one. I can't save them all.
There we go. And that's where we end tonight. It's the final stretch. And these next 2 weeks are going to decide if the three of you will be left with a home to, for some of you, return to. Thanks for coming, everyone. All right. How's everyone?
Despite not getting out of the chair, a little out of breath. That was brisk.
Frax and I figured out how to solve the whole problem.
Nuke it from orbit. It's the only way to be sure.
No.
No. Easier.
So much easier.
Yeah, the parent trap.
What?
We just get our two ancient vampires. We do like a little forgery, write letters, notes to each other from one to the other, and get them to meet up, and we'll take care of each other. You're like, you old vampire, I hate you. Let's rumble. Let's meet over at the place. And then you write the other one being like, I don't like you, vampire. Let's meet and fight up. And then you just send it to them, and then they'll meet up and they'll fight up.
No, I beg to differ. I don't think there's enough Banu Hakim on the planet that can deal with the convergence of problems that we are witnessing.
No. It's a Godzilla versus Mothra problem. Let them fight.
Yeah. No, there is no Mothra. There is slightly less powerful tentacle monster, much more powerful tentacle monster, and then the angriest Frenchman to ever French.
By the way, this whole parent trap thing. Oh, hello, Raiders! We were on our way out. But here's hope your game went well. You mentioned the parent trap. I need to add, because this is relevant to Montreal and its history, it is how Gondiarong, the Native American chief, actually united all of the various nations around the Great Lakes in peace and signed the Great Peace of Montreal, was by doing exactly that. So his nickname was the Rat. By the way, there's a plaque for him, dedicated to him, on a belvedere on the mountain, also dedicated to him. Essentially what Gondiarong did is to unite everyone together. He went to one tribe first, would kidnap people and hide them in the woods. Go to that very village and say, oh, I know who did it. It's the people from that other village. And he would do the same thing with that other village. And he would put everyone he kidnapped like together in the woods, just watched by his people. And every village he would go to, he would say, but don't go to war. I can talk them down. Trust me. And everyone freaking let him do his stuff. And every time, everyone would come back unarmed. And so he basically engineered a peace by lying to everyone, hence his name. By the time the Great Peace was signed in Montreal, it was an entire event. It lasted like 3 days, something like that. He was hella sick. Probably something like tuberculosis. I don't remember exactly what it is, but I think it's like something like that, consumption or whatever. And he was in a pitiful state the whole time. And the last day, he stood up at the end of everything, gave a lengthy speech, and then died right after. And this would have been perfect had it not been for the settlers in Montreal who said, well, this guy's so great, we can't have them bury him according to heathen rites, so we're gonna force baptize his body and then bury him according to Christian traditions. Yeah, that was a bit of a shitty thing, right? However, this entire alliance that was built by Gondyorong is the forces that y'all Americans fought against during the French and Indian War. There would not have been an entire force of First Nations against the British colonies had it not been for him. He's pretty cool. And he essentially parent-trapped like 5 different nations.
So we can do that with the Coldonist and also Vion.
Yeah,
And that
like
will be
kidnap
fine.
some anarchs, then go
Yeah,
tell and kidnap some camis, and then go tell each that, you know, you're the only person that can fix everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it'll be fine. We're just like, hey, Vion, I'm the Coldonist, and I hate you. Let's rumble at the Biodome, and then we'll send a letter to the Coldonist being like, hey, Coldonist, I'm Vion, and I hate your face. It's ugly. Let's rumble at the Biodome, and then they just rumble at the Biodome. Oh, and we invite Val to go too, so we're like, hey, Val, we've got a present for you. It's at the Biodome.
But why the biodome? Like, do you really want to fight in front of a bunch of penguins and beavers?
Well, I heard it was like one of the world wonders. In
No,
Civ,
that's the
so I figured that'd be
biosphere.
Oh man, we'll have to go to the Biosphere then. We'll have them fight at the Biosphere. It's a world wonder.
Well,
The biosphere
again,
does look like a giant steel arena, though. It's a fucking Thunderdome.
Look, we just need to then get Tina Turner
Yep.
to be the master of ceremonies.
Okay, this is getting so out of range.
we are so far gone.
That's fine. We're alleviating everything that we ended on. But thank you, players, for being here. Thank you, chat, for coming. Thank you. Well, hey, Vectare, that's pretty cool. I'm going to put a link in chat if you want to have a vampire game that takes place in Montreal. It's called Vampire the Masquerade Chapters, and it's basically the sequel to Vampire Montreal by Night, and of our campaign is basically a prequel to that. But while I do that, players, please take the mic. Tell us who you are, where we can find you, what you enjoyed tonight, and what you have going on.
Hey everybody, Pope here. Pope World Build on the internets. If you want to see more of this silly face, check out the Bird app as well as Blue Sky for where you will next see me. But yeah, no, tonight was a lot. Between France not going anywhere I was expecting whatsoever. Paris was just nothing but surprises, and I now feel so much guilt sending poor Flory to Paris to just uncover that. Like, it'll be great we get a heads up, but that's awful. and there's no, yeah, no, there's nothing good about Paris. That sucks. And then, of course, poor Dixon going through all of this labor, 6 seasons worth of labor to try and find his sire, bring her back, bring back whatever his sire was caring about, working on, to then get berated by one of his sire's friends who is having a panic attack, and then to finally read the letter that you've been putting off for some time, to just read that your sire's wishes is her own destruction. No, Artie had
the problem is mostly that he can't do it now because her friend's there and she wouldn't let him do it.
There is so many levels of, like, Dixon's having a time, Florrie's having a time. Artie's just dealing with some cardio. That's really it. Like,
You just have to tell me where they are later, because if everyone else is going to run, I have to kill them. It might not go well with that bone spur thing. That seemed pretty bad, but it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, no, that's some new hotness that I wasn't aware of. That was a neat trick, and I am concerned what other neat tricks she has learned since they last faced off. So yeah, no, I'm just saying this, as much as I don't have the stats for it, I will be mildly disappointed if there is not a car chase or a boat chase of some sort before the end. Because we have gotten to the chase portion of this story, and I feel like there is a not insignificant Doctor Who levels of running in our future. So I will be interested to see if any of us survive. And thank you all so much for being here to experience this with us. We're a live VOD YouTube stories, nothing without science. You're much part of this as we are. Take care of yourselves and one another, and I hope to see you soon.
So, I get to go next. Hey everybody, I'm your friendly neighborhood Prax, at Dear Gentleman on Twitter, or Prax as before. You see me around here on Twitch. Prax the Bard over on Instagram, Hive, and Blue Sky. And so first off, business, and then I get to give some joy and pleasure and other things in my head. First off, you will find me on Saturday streaming on my channel for some more book chatting for the way this month has been going. It's lots of books. And then we will not be streaming on Sunday. We'll be back June 2nd for more Mass Effect The Gathering Dark. Or we're going to take a short 2-week hiatus for just the season break. And then there's a Thresher Maw in our future. I'm sure that will be fine. Plus a haunted hospital on Tachanka. I'm sure that will also be fine. Maybe. But tonight, first of all, snaps to Trooper for that beautiful opening monologue. I love so much. Beautiful there. So Simon giving the Ravnos PTSD in Paris. Great. Now she has to try and be like, well, fuck. Antediluvian awake, mass email chain, hit everybody. This is like chain letter, everybody lighting up the phone tree, right? Like this is Sandra Bullock in Practical Magic lighting up that phone tree and getting we are here for it. I wish we were having midnight margaritas, but apparently we're dealing with some possession instead. Somebody has to have a vacuum that we can use. It'll work. It did a thing. And then we and then with Trooper and the emotional fallout of this, and I don't know, I don't know, I have some concerns about the cultist that is Jesse, because there was a lot of very cult-like behavior, like of a whole lot of that. So we've got some cult things going on, and then we've got Godzilla versus Mothra happening in the city, and I'm just being like, look, it is time to vacate this island. We get off it. That's where Flory is. We get gone. We just get gone. It's fine. It's not our problem if we're not there. But also, I have questions. Why? Who was shooting? And were Mehmet and Hilkers there to watch/help Val, or there to try and double cross her? Either one could be very interesting from a story standpoint. Both are going to be complicated, and I'm going to be here next week so we can figure it out. Right? I'm sure. And I'll just let Flory be in a bathtub having PTSD. It's fine. But thank you everybody for being here. Thank you for this wonderful story. And is it Monday yet?
Hey everybody, I'm Trooper SJP. I don't know if you know this, but this was the anti-penultimate episode because we only have 2 left. And that's it. Not for the season, but for the series. And then that's it. Yeah. So 2 episodes. What will happen in those 2 episodes? I've got a plan, or at least something to happen probably next episode, depending on how things go, because there's a lot going on. I don't know if it'll happen. Let me put it this way. I don't have a plan. Dixon has a plan, but you know how plans go. Dixon has some things he's got to do, but we'll see how that goes. Flory, cool as a cucumber, very chill, always calculating how to figure out how to get around a situation. And I apologize for the gold taps when clearly they were the silver taps. I am so sorry. Artie is like, ooh, run. It's probably smart. It's probably a smart thing to do. I feel like it was probably a good thing that Dixon was just randomly destroying pages from the book that Val wanted, because I feel like if he hadn't, maybe she'd have that book and she'd get what she wanted, and that would probably be a bad thing. I don't trust her getting anything, to be honest. I feel like badness. Also, I feel like Artie now has to adopt a childer who's been orphaned, to learn sort of magic. So that's cool. You've got a new childer, Artie. I've decided, and my character's doing pretty well. Cultiness is never a problem. Seems fine. He's just got to let her go through her grief, and then they'll work things out. They'll figure out how to save all of the whites, and then he's going to go and murder all of the threats to Montreal, as a good person would do, just a little bit of wanton murder, and then I feel like everything will be fine. That seems like just no problem. So you can find me not in Egypt by the River of Denial, but actually on many places. This is Monday, so you can find me on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern over at Laugh Love Lindy's channel for Reading Between the Lines, a Good Society campaign, which will be just the summer. And then Friday, you can find me on my channel at 7 p.m. Eastern for The Gamblers, the Traveler Pirates of Drynex campaign. That only has 3 episodes left for the season. And then there'll be other things taking that space, and I'm gonna try to get the gang back together, the band back together to finish that Sandman. So that'll be fun. There'll be stuff going on, and then yeah, then back all the way around for this episode 5 of 6 of our last season, which I'm pretty certain it's gonna be a little bit of hijinks, a little bit of like writing notes with like little hearts and flowers, getting Mothra and Godzilla to fight each other, and then we'll like laugh and have shawarma afterwards. I think it'll be fine. I think there'll be no problems. Yeah. No, I mean, no problem. I mean, what kind of problems could there be?
None
Hey, do you know
ever.
somebody who can pull them into the underworld?
I don't know. Hey, Dixon's not running. Dixon is not leaving the island. That's all I'm gonna say.
No, we'll actually see, because they're fighting more or less near your place too, you know, just far away that you can't really complain to the cops for noise. But you know, that said,
Hey, when Mothra and Godzilla fight, there's not a lot of collateral damage, right? It's fine. Like if they were to fight in, like, say Montreal as an example, like by the biosphere or whatever, there wouldn't be a lot of like collateral damage or anything. It would be fine for everybody, right?
if they fight by the biosphere, they're not technically on the island. There's not a whole lot of shit around there except for a casino and I think a Formula One and I think a theme park. No, wait. No, the biosphere is on another. I think it's not the same place as Laurent. I'd have to check. Anyway, not a whole lot of collateral.
So we're fine. It'll be fine. Yeah, everything's gonna be fine. We have 2 episodes left this season. Everything's gonna be fine. Yep.
Again, thank you players for coming. Thank you chat for being here. Thank you for the subs, for all the cool interactions. Thank you for the raids. Thank you to KY Hawkeye and to Devaktare. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. For both raids, and thank you players for taking time off of your Mondays for this penultimate. Next week it's the Ultimate Crayon episode, and then everything goes to a head.
Wait.
For the finale.
Wait. You have just given away how we get out of this. Okay, so all right, so now I know. Simon just said that's the Ultimate Crayon episode, which is clearly a reference to that season like 5 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, when Willow becomes evil and is saved from evilness by giving a crayon. So I think all we have to do is have Artie give a crayon to Val, and that will solve that problem. Then Val will stop being evil, and then they will go and Val will help defeat Vion and the Coldonist. That's it. We just need a crayon, and we need Val to give the crayon to. We need Artie to give the crayon to Val, and all will be solved.
Sure. Y'all can catch me otherwise on Saturday, next Saturday, for Scion. Hopefully, I'm not pulling a 14-hour workday the day before. It was a very interesting 14-hour workday, but it still was 14 hours. So I should be back there for some more fun in the underworld. We are entering Jigoku, the Kami hell, if you will, and it's going to be Dee's turn to basically lead the group through this underworld in search of the famous net and answers as to what has been going on about all these overworlds and afterlives disappearing one by one. On that note, thank you everyone for coming again. Let's see if we can raid someone at this time of night. We probably can, actually. And of course, I forgot to mute my thing. Reception Studio is up. Oh, well, let's leave. Okay, let's leave our dark and fear-inducing Montreal, and let's go see something a little cooler. And let's go raid Fawn, who's currently playing Cat Adventure, which means it's just as chaotic as what's happening. Everything is going to shits, but at least there's cute graphics. And on that, thank you so much for coming, everyone, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.